I told my sister-in-law to get over herself and stop trying to own up us. My wife Amy and I were at the hospital for 3 weeks straight. She gave birth at 32 weeks and had complications that kept getting worse. Our son Owen went straight to the NICU. Amy was in a different room, sometimes too sick to even make the walk down the hall to see him. I'd go back and forth between them, sleeping in a chair, eating vending machine food. The nurses knew me by name. Amy's sister, Vanessa, was 8 months pregnant at the time. She texted asking for updates, but never visited. 2 weeks after Owen was born, Vanessa had her son Russell. Full term, healthy, no complications. The family group chat exploded with photos of her holding him right after birth, doing skin to skin, nursing him in the hospital room. My phone kept buzzing while I sat next to Amy's bed, watching her sleep. When we finally brought Owen home, he was tiny. He had a feeding tube for the first week at home. Amy cried every time she looked at the baby photos other moms posted online. All those perfect golden hour shots she never got. The first family dinner after we were cleared to bring Owen out was at my in-laws' house. Vanessa brought Russell in this huge fancy car seat, the expensive kind that turns into a stroller. Owen wasn't a basic carrier. We sat him down on the couch, and everyone gathered around. That's when Vanessa started. "Oh, poor Amy," she said, touching my wife's shoulder. "I'm so sorry you missed the golden hour. That bonding time is so important." I couldn't imagine not having that with Russell. Amy's face went red. She picked up Owen and walked to the kitchen. At Owen's 3-month checkup, he was finally catching up on weight. We posted a photo in the family chat. Vanessa replied within minutes with a photo of Russell. "He's already 15 pounds. The doctor says he's in the 90th percentile for his age." Owen was barely 10 pounds at the next family gathering. Vanessa brought Russell in wearing a onesie that said, "Mommy's first." She made sure to mention it was her firstborn, the first grandbaby she got to experience fully. My mother-in-law tried to change the subject, but Vanessa kept going. "Russell's already tracking objects with his eyes," she announced to the room. The pediatrician said he's very alert for his age. Owen was 4 months old then, 1.5 months corrected for his premature birth. He was doing fine, but he wasn't tracking objects yet. Amy held him closer. "Every baby develops differently," my father-in-law said. "Of course," Vanessa smiled. "I'm just saying Russell is advanced." 2 weeks ago, Owen laughed for the first time. A real belly laugh while Amy was making faces at him during tummy time. We recorded it, watched it 10 times, cried happy tears. Amy sent the video to the family chat with 3 heart emojis. Last Saturday, we drove to my in-laws for lunch. Amy brought her phone to show everyone the video in person. My mother-in-law watched it twice. My father-in-law kept rewinding to the part where Owen kicked his legs. They were passing the phone back and forth, smiling so big. Vanessa walked over and glanced at the screen. "That's cute. Russell did that last month when he was 4 months old. He laughs at everything now. Sometimes he even giggles in his sleep." Owen was 5.5 months old. 3.5 months corrected age. Something snapped. I'd been quiet every other time. I'd walked away, changed subjects, bit my tongue. "Not this time. Vanessa, you need to get over yourself," I said. The room went silent. "You're pathetic for trying to one-up a premature baby. Your full-term son isn't special for being more developed than a prey. Get over the fact that you didn't give birth to the first grandbaby." She stared at me. "Excuse me, you heard me. Owen was in the NICU fighting for his life while you were posting aesthetic pregnancy photos. Amy almost died, and all you care about is attention." Vanessa's face turned white then red. "How dare you?" "No. How dare you," I said. "Every single family event you make some comment, we get it. Russell is bigger, faster, stronger. Congratulations. He had 9 months in the womb and didn't have to be resuscitated at birth." My father-in-law stood up. "Maybe we should all calm down." "I am calm," I said. "I'm just done pretending her behavior is okay." Vanessa grabbed Russell and her diaper bag. Her husband scrambled to follow her. She slammed the front door on the way out. My mother-in-law's hands were shaking. Amy was frozen on the couch holding Owen. "That was uncalled for," my mother-in-law finally said. "Was it?" Amy didn't say anything at first. She just stared down at Owen, rubbing the tiny soft spot on the back of his head the way she always did when she was overwhelmed. My father-in-law kept pacing near the kitchen doorway, running his hand through his hair like he was trying to erase the entire scene from his memory. My mother-in-law repeated herself, softer this time. "It was uncalled for." I looked right at her. "So, is everything she's been saying for 6 months?" She opened her mouth to respond but stopped, because even she knew it was true. The only sound in the room was Owen's little breathy coo as he shifted in Amy's arms. It was Amy who finally broke the silence. "Do you know," she said quietly, "that the first month I was home, I couldn't even look at Russell's photos without crying? My mother-in-law's face fell. Amy kept going, her voice trembling but steady. Do you know how it feels to nearly die giving birth and then have every family dinner turn into a comparison show? Or how it feels to have someone remind you again and again of everything you missed? She looked up, her eyes red but clear. Vanessa has been kicking me when I was already on the ground. My father-in-law slowly sat beside her. Amy, sweetheart, none of us realized how much it was affecting you. You didn't realize. Amy said because you didn't want to see it. That landed hard. He didn't argue. Nobody did. Owen let out a soft whine, and Amy kissed his forehead, whispering to him in that gentle voice she only used when she thought no one was listening. My mother-in-law finally sighed long and heavy, like she was letting go of years of pretending everything was fine. I love both my daughters, she said. But Vanessa, she can be insensitive. She always has been. She rubbed her temples. Still, she's hurt now. She feels attacked. I didn't attack her, I said. I told her the truth she's been avoiding. My father-in-law nodded slowly. Maybe she needed to hear it. That surprised everyone, including my mother-in-law. He looked at Amy, and maybe we all should have stepped in sooner. Amy blinked, holding back tears. Thank you. We stayed a while longer, mostly in silence, until Owen started fussing and it was clear he needed a nap. On the drive home, Amy stared out the window, running her hand along Owen's tiny leg. About halfway back, she whispered, "Thank you for standing up for him, for us." She meant. I reached over and squeezed her hand. She didn't let go. 2 hours after we got home, Vanessa sent a long text in the family chat. Not to me, to everyone. She wrote about how she felt blindsided, humiliated, disrespected. How she was just proud of her baby and didn't deserve to be attacked at a family gathering. Then she added a line that made Amy laugh, not a happy laugh, but the kind you make when you can't believe someone is that unaware. Vanessa wrote, "If Owen's development is sensitive for you, that's not my fault." My phone buzzed again. My mother-in-law replied privately to Amy, "I'm sorry, truly. I'm going to talk to her." Amy just nodded when she saw it, like she expected exactly that. But then, something unexpected happened. Later that night, while I was putting Owen down, Amy received a message from Vanessa's husband. Mark, he apologized sincerely. He said he'd been uncomfortable with Vanessa's comments for months, but didn't know how to address them without causing a fight at home. He said he hoped the cousins could grow up close and that he was rooting for Owen's health more than anything. Amy actually teared up reading it. At least someone gets it, she said. The next morning, Vanessa sent Amy a final message, not an apology, more like a truce. "I didn't realize my comments hurt you. I'll be more careful. But I still think yesterday was too far." Amy didn't respond. She didn't need to. Because for the first time since Owen was born, she didn't feel small. She didn't feel overshadowed. She didn't feel like she had to apologize for her son being premature. She felt like a mother protecting her child. And I realized something too: some people don't change unless you make them uncomfortable. Some people don't stop comparing, bragging, or minimizing others until you draw a boundary so solid it scares them. Maybe Vanessa will reflect. Maybe she won't. But one thing is certain. Amy and Owen won't be shrinking themselves to make her feel taller ever again. And if Vanessa wants to keep score, she'll have to do it alone because we're done playing her game. Storytime: my girlfriend admitted she cheated. I needed a real man, she smirked. My friends took her side. I just smiled, took my keys and left. This morning, my phone blew up with 32 missed calls. It was a Friday night. We were at our usual spot. Low lights, cheap drinks. The kind of place where birthdays and breakups blend into background noise. She wore my hoodie, the one she always borrowed. She looked good in it, like she always did when she wanted something. I didn't know this would be our last night. The setup. She cleared her throat during a lulling conversation. Our friends, 6 of them, sat around the table half drunk and mid-laugh. "So?" she said too loudly. "I guess this is as good a time as any." The room went quiet. I looked at her calmly, waiting. She turned to me with a smirk. "I cheated." The word didn't even sting. It just landed. Like something you already knew but pretended not to. And honestly, she added, I needed a real man. Not one who works in tech support and spends his weekends fixing up a car that still doesn't run. Laughter, their laughter. My friends, they weren't shocked because they knew. No one had my back. Ben, the one I thought was like a brother, clinked glasses with her. "Damn girl, you're savage." But honest, I respect it. Maya muttered something about how we all saw this coming. Even Chris, the guy who used to crash on my couch, just gave me that look, the kind that says, "Take the yell and leave." So I did. I didn't yell. Didn't ask for an explanation. Didn't throw a drink or storm out like she probably hoped I would. I just looked at her. Really looked at her and saw it. The need for validation, the emptiness behind the smirk. the desperation to seem like she'd won something, and then I smiled, tossed my keyring up. Caught it, cool. That was it. Then I turned and walked out. They laughed harder after I left. I heard it as the door swung shut behind me. But here's what they didn't hear. The plan that had just formed in my head. Because I wasn't going to fight for anyone who mocked me. I was going to become someone they couldn't ignore and she couldn't reach. I met Emma 3 years ago at a coffee shop near campus. She was reading The Bell Jar, wearing black nail polish and a chipped ring on her thumb. I asked about the book. She looked up and said, "Only depressed people read this in public," then smiled. That was it. We clicked fast, deep, late-night drives, dumb inside jokes. Falling asleep with her head on my chest like it was the safest place on earth. She used to tell me, "You're my peace." I believed her. The good days. She used to bring me lunch when I worked late. Used to call me her anchor, the one who kept her from spinning out when life got overwhelming. When I fixed up that rusted-out 92 Civic in the garage, she'd sit with me, pass me tools, play music. We weren't rich. We weren't flashy, but we were solid. Or so I thought. The drift. The change was slow. She started going out more. Girls' nights turned into don't wait up texts. She stopped coming to the garage. Started rolling her eyes when I talked about building my own IT consulting business. "You're always chasing things that take too long," she said once. I didn't fight her on it. I thought she was just stressed, burned out. But the truth, she was already looking for someone faster, louder, flashier. And that someone turned out to be Caleb. A bartender with a six-pack and the personality of a wet sponge. The friends shifted, too. Ben started hanging out with her more than with me. Chris didn't want to take sides. Even Maya, who once cried on my shoulder over her breakup, ghosted me. I didn't lose a girlfriend that night at the bar. I lost the circle. And yet, something in me clicked into place. Not rage, not depression, clarity. They didn't betray me because I was weak. They betrayed me because I was quiet. And they thought that meant I wouldn't respond. They were wrong. The first night after the breakup, I didn't sleep. I laid in bed staring at the ceiling, reliving every second of that bar scene. Her smirk, Ben's laugh. The way they looked at me like I was the punchline of a joke I hadn't heard yet. The next morning, I opened my phone. No apologies, no missed calls, just one group text. "Chris, hey man, hope there's no hard feelings. Let's all try to be mature about this, right?" Mature like laughing in my face while my girlfriend nuked our relationship in front of people. I once called friends. I shut it all off. I deactivated my social media, blocked them, deleted old photos. Wiped her contact, but not the memory. Then I took one last look in the mirror. Not for pity, for inventory. Because if they all saw someone disposable, I needed to build someone undeniable. The plan, I started small. Reached out to an old professor who once said I had CEO energy. Took night classes in cybersecurity. Woke up at 5 a.m. every day, and ran even when my body screamed not to. Ate clean, trained harder, read more, and most importantly, I worked 12 hours a day, sometimes more. Consulting, freelancing, fixing networks for local businesses. I said yes to everything while they drank and posted and celebrated betrayal. Like it was a personality trait. I was building a version of myself they wouldn't recognize. No one knew where I went. Not Ben, not Maya, not Emma, especially not Emma. She didn't reach out, didn't apologize. She was too busy posting soft-lit selfies with Caleb and captions like, "Love always wins, cute. Let's see how long love lasts when the money dries up." The thrill fades and the man you left behind isn't behind you anymore. He's 10 steps ahead. Month after the breakup. No texts, no messages, no trace of my old life. Just calendars, routines, and silence. And I loved every second of it. Work blew up. One of my freelance gigs led to a small contract that led to a referral that led to a retainer. Before long, I was making more in a month than I used to make in 6. I registered my own LLC. Built a clean, quiet website. Started getting DM'd by businesses that used to ignore my applications, all without posting once. All without telling anyone. Because the most satisfying growth is a kind no one sees until it's done. The physical glow up. I dropped 18 pounds. Cut carbs, ran 6 days a week, lifted heavy. Cleaned up my skin, got a real haircut. Confidence didn't come from compliments. It came from discipline. I started dressing sharper, not to impress, but because I finally respected myself enough to look like it. One night, I caught my reflection in a store window. I stopped and stared. Would she even recognize me now? Didn't matter. This version of me wouldn't have tolerated her for 5 minutes. The social ripple I wasn't posting, but others were. I started popping up in tagged photos, client launches, networking events, charity runs. A few of Emma's friends still followed those people. And suddenly, my phone started buzzing again. "Maya? Hey, stranger, you look good. Hope you're doing okay. Ben, heard you started your own thing. That's wild. Respect, Chris. Dude, your name came up in a client meeting. Lol, you killing it? I ignored all of them because the version of me they knew didn't exist anymore. They killed him when they left. I just buried him, right? Then came the first slip Emma posted less, then stopped altogether. 2 months clean. Then a blurry IG story from a mutual friend's birthday. Her in the background, alone, looking older, not glowing. No Caleb, no caption. Nothing about real men or leveling up. Just a girl sitting in the back of a party that used to be hers. I didn't smile. Didn't feel smug. I just felt done, not vindicated, detached. Because when someone rips you apart in public and you rebuild in private, there comes a moment when even their name loses weight. It happened on a Sunday. Gray sky, coffee brewing. I was reviewing a pitch deck when my phone started lighting up. One call, then another, then 32 missed calls in a span of 2 hours. Emma, Ben, even Maya. They all came pouring in like smoke from a house no one admitted was burning. First, the texts. Emma, I know I'm the last person you want to hear from. But please, can we talk? Emma, everything fell apart. I just need 5 minutes. Please, Emma? I messed up. You didn't deserve that. I see that now. Then Ben chimed in. Ben, yo, man, I was wrong. Real talk, we all were. Ben, she told us stuff. Said you weren't treating her right. I didn't know the truth, right? They never do until they're not invited anymore. Then Maya, I was a coward. You were always the real one. We picked sides, and now she's crying on my couch, Maya. She says. You won't respond. Are you okay? I was fine. She wasn't, and the irony, they spent months treating my silence like weakness. But now it was driving them insane. The last message from Emma, it came at midnight. Emma, I thought I wanted someone exciting. What I got was someone fake. Caleb left. He cheated. He's broke, I'm broke. I miss you. God, I miss you. Emma, you didn't deserve what I did. I see that now. You were the best thing in my life. Emma, please just respond, please. I sat with that one for a while, watched the typing bubble come and go. Then I locked my phone, set it face down, and went to sleep. Because by the time they realize what you were worth, you're too busy becoming the version of yourself they never deserved to meet. I woke up the next morning to another wall of texts. You probably hate me. I understand if you never want to see me again, but please just say something. I miss who we were. I miss who I was with you. The part that hit me most, not the begging, not the regret. It was the phrase who I was with you. Because that's what hurt the most, didn't it? She didn't lose me. She lost the version of herself that existed when I believed in her, and that she was never getting back. I typed slowly. No anger, no theatrics, just clarity, me. You didn't just choose someone else. You celebrated humiliating me. You made it a show. And when I left, I didn't just walk away from the relationship. I walked away from the person who thought I wasn't enough. I'm not angry. I'm not bitter, I'm just done. Take care of yourself. Then I blocked her number. Final closure. I didn't wait for a reply because the best kind of revenge isn't about breaking them. It's about becoming so unshakably whole they can't even picture themselves in your life anymore. And while they spin in regret, you sleep peacefully because revenge isn't always about fire. Sometimes it's just never looking back. Was this revenge justified? Or was it something more? If the story gripped you, if it made you think, feel, or remember, don't just scroll, tap like, hit subscribe. Share it because around here every betrayal has consequences, and every subscriber fuels the next haunting tale.